Hello children, good morning. We'll go to the next topic. I think you have understood about how colonization was the main reason for the First World War. It's not only the colonization, colonies, the race for the colonies. There are some other reasons also is there for First World War. Okay. Now we'll go to the next topic, 1.3, causes, codes, and results of World War I. Causes: European alliances and counter alliances. What do you mean by alliances? Alliances means coming together or having friendly relationship, that is joining something together, that is the alliance. Okay. Counter means opposite. In 1900, five of the European great powers were divided into two armed camps. So European country, already we have seen European map. You must remember all those places. So in that it were divided into two armed camps. One camp consists of central powers. Remember central powers, that Germany, Austria-Hungary and Italy. Okay. Germany, nearby Germany we have Austria-Hungary, and a small tiny place near Germany, below Germany we have Italy. These places were combined together and formed central power under the guidance of Bismarck. He was the main person in Germany. In his guidance, they formed an alliance because they are three in number. They formed a triple alliance in 1882. The understanding was that Germany and Austria would help each other. The other camp consisted of France and Russia. So one side, Germany and Austria, they have signed, they will help each other. In another camp, France and Russia, they had alliance among themselves. Their alliance was formed in 1894 with the promise of mutual help if Germany attacked either of them. If Germany, which is in the center, if it attacks Russia, France will help Russia, or if it attacks France, Russia will help France. Okay. An isolated Britain wanted to break her isolation and approached Germany twice, but in vain. Now Britain was standing alone. She saw that it is one way Germany was in alliance with Austria, Hungary, and Italy. Another say France was with Germany. What shall France with Russia? What shall it do? So it approached Germany, but Germany did not include Britain. At the same time, as Japan was increasingly hostile towards Russia, we have seen in the previous points itself that uh, Japan attacked Manchuria and Russia wants Manchuria. That's a important Port Arthur. So Russia and Japan, they were hostile among themselves. So as a France was ally with Russia, because France and Russia were friends, it preferred ally with Britain. So Japan wanted to be friendly with Britain. So they made alliance, that is Anglo-Japanese alliance. They made a treaty among themselves, prompted the France to seek an alliance with Britain to resolve the colonial disputes over Morocco and Egypt. Now France saw this thing, oh, something is going wrong. So it needs the help from Britain to have the control over Morocco and Egypt. Egypt is Britain colony and Morocco is France colony. Okay. And Germany was interfering both. So they thought if each other help means they can get back Morocco and Egypt. This is in Africa. This resulted in Entente Cordiale, that is they signed a treaty which is known as Entente Cordiale. Okay. In return for letting the French have free hand in Morocco, France agreed to recognize the British occupation in Egypt. So France and Britain, they made each other that Morocco is for France and Egypt is for Britain. Britain subsequently reached an agreement with Russia over Persia. now what we call Iraq, no, that is Persia. So they said we both will divide Russia, Iraq. Is already we have seen that one. They agreed for the partition, isn't it? Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan and Tibet. Thus was formed the triple entity of Britain, France, and Russia. Now, first we saw central powers, that is triple alliance. Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy one side, and triple entity, that is Britain, France, and Russia. Okay, you have to remember this. That is triple alliance means Germany, Austria, Hungary, Italy, and triple entente means Britain, France, and Russia. They are the two armed camps against each other. This is alliances. So this is one reason. Second reason, violent form of nationalism. What do you mean by nationalism? That is, with the growth of nationalism, the attitude of my country right or wrong, I support it. Whether my country right or wrong, I belong to this country and I at any cost I support it. That is having more love for the country. So this is sometimes this over love can also be danger for country's development. The love for one country is demanded hatred for another country, obviously, isn't it? So what we if you love your country, obviously you hate other countries. So then we can't have world peace, isn't it? So this is another reason, and what feeling they have is named in different way. In England, it is known as jingoism. In France, it is known as chauvinism, and in Germany, it is known as Kultur. They are the militant forms of nationalism. That is, at any cost, they are ready to fight with others for their nation. This is the one of the reason contributing decisively to the outbreak of war. Okay, children. Next, we'll go to the next reason. That is aggressive attitude of German emperor. So during First World War, in that time, it was ruled by Emperor Kaiser Wilhelm of II. He was very, very aggressive and assertive. That is very, what you call, how very, very adamant and very much decided that God has created Germans to rule the world. They are the most advanced people and others are barbarians. So Kaiser proclaimed that Germany would be the leader of the world. The German navy was expanded, the sea being considered a preserve of England ever since Napoleon's defeat at Trafalgar. That is 1805. Napoleon Bonaparte was a great French ruler. So after the Battle of Waterloo, he was defeated. No, after that, whole Atlantic Ocean was under the control of England. So sea was a great treasure for England, and now Germany wanted to control that sea under her control. Germans' aggressive diplomacy and the rapid building of naval bases convinced Britain that a German navy could be directed only against her. So when Germany started giving more and more concentration on the navy, so it become eyesore for Britain. Britain thought, oh, it is it any one day surely it will be directed towards its navy. So therefore, Britain embarked on a naval race which heightened the tension between the two powers. So Britain also started giving more importance for navy. So they are thinking about in future it may be fight among themselves on the sea, over the sea. So they were preparing themselves. So this is what we call tension. Before happening something, we prepare, no? So what is going to happen, we don't know, but still we are preparing for that one. This will increase the tension among the powers. Okay. Okay, next reason is hostility of France towards Germany. France and Germany were old rivals from 1700. So they were bitter memories of defeat of 1871. Very important one is that is in a France map. If you see in the map in the France, towards the northeast, we have Alsace-Lorraine, which is a very important place for iron and coal industries, which is a border for both Germany then even for the Belgium, even for the Switzerland, even for the France. So Germany wanted to control Alsace and Lorraine, which was French place. So Germany's and one more thing, Germany's interference in Morocco also added this bitterness. The British agreement with the France over Morocco was not consented by Germany. So Britain and France already we have seen they agreed each other for having control of Morocco and Egypt, but Germany did not agree for that one. So Kaiser Wilhelm intentionally recognized the independence of Morocco Sultan and demanded the international conference to decide the future of Morocco. Okay, so this is another reason for Germany having hostility against France. Okay, now imperial power politics in Balkans. What happened in Balkan places? If you see in the map, we have the Balkan places like Austria, Hungary, Serbia, Romania, Greece, Macedonia, Montenegro, Poland. All these are Balkan places. That is a what you call border places of Europe and Russia, towards the east of Europe and the west of Russia. That is a Balkan places. Okay, small places. Okay, and even very important place, Turkey's western part. Okay, the Young Turk Revolution of 1908, an attempt at creating a strong and modern government in Turkey, provided both Austria and Russia with opportunity to resume their activities in the Balkans. So Turkey, which is a very important place, Constantinople, okay, that is a place. Ottoman Turks were ruling that places. So during that time, there was a revolution in Turkey. So there was confusion. So whenever there is a confusion, neighboring states will take the advantage of that. In the same way, in the eastern side Austria, the western side Austria and eastern side Russia, they wanted to control some of the places in a Balkan. Austria and Russia met and agreed that Austria would annex Bosnia and Herzegovina. Okay, they are the places in Balkan. Near Austria, we have Bosnia and Herzegovina. Okay, well, Russia would have freedom to move her warships through the Dardanelles and Bosporus to the Mediterranean Sea. To Russia, if they want to enter to the Mediterranean, surely they have to cross Dardanelles and Bosporus and some of the Poland places to come to the Mediterranean Sea. If they come to the Mediterranean Sea, then it will be easy for them to go to African countries and Asian countries. Okay. Soon after this, Austria announced the annexation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Austria's action aroused intense opposition from Serbia. Below Austria, we have another small place, Serbia. So Serbia did not like Austria annexing Bosnia and Herzegovina. Germany gave Austria a firm support. Already we know Germany and Austria were friends. So Germany supported Austria. Germany went to the extent of promising that if Austria invaded Serbia, in consequence, Russia helped Serbia, Germany will come to Austria's assistance. This is what we call diplomatic movement. Okay. Austria's annexation of Bosnia and Herzegovina was not liked by Serbia. So, if Serbia attacks Austria, Germany will help Austria. Same way, Russia will help Serbia. So, automatically, Russia comes to help Serbia means its friend France and Britain has to come over there, isn't it? This is what how one by one they entered into the war. Okay. And the enmity between Austria and Serbia led to the outbreak of the war in 1914. Okay, children. Next, the Balkan Wars. Turkey was a powerful country in the southwest, southeast of it is given west there, it's the east of Europe in the first half of the 18th century, that is from 1700 to 1800. The Ottoman Empire extended over Balkans and across Hungary to Poland. It's all it's in the border of Russia and Europe. Okay, the empire contained many non-Turkish people in the Balkans. So both the Turks and the subjects of the different nationalities in the Balkans indulged in most fearful massacres and atrocities. The Armenian genocide is a frightful example. So Turkish people, when they started controlling one by one they extended their control over Hungary to Poland, and Turkish people were very less in number. Non-Turkish people are more in Balkan places. So there was, between the government and the subjects, there was no cooperation. There was what you call, lot of difference of opinion between the subjects and the rulers. So there was lot of revolutions, massacres, autocracies, and the Armenian genocide means they used to use that bombs to kill the people. That was a great things for revolution. A lot of confusion was going in Turkey. So this confusion, taking the advantage of the political and economic instability of Turkish Empire from the second half of the 18th century, Greeks followed, others began to secede one after another from Turkish control. So Greece was a small place near Turkey. So they saw there was no stability in Turkey. So slowly they separated themselves from Turkey. In the same way, Macedonia had a small place near Greece. Macedonia had a mixed population. There were rivalries among Greece, Serbia, Bulgaria, and later Montenegro to control over Macedonia. A small place, very important place, Macedonia. So they wanted to control. So one place was the main thing for all these places like Greece, Serbia, Bulgaria, Turkey, Montenegro. Everybody wants to control over Macedonia. In March 1912, they formed the Balkan League. So they formed a Balkan League. The League attacked and defeated the Turkish forces in the First Balkan War from 1912 to 13. According to the Treaty of London, signed in May 1930, a new state of Albania, that is near Macedonia, they were created, and other Balkan states divided up Macedonia between them. That is Greece, Serbia, Bulgaria, Montenegro divided the Macedonia. Okay, and Turkey was not given any portion. It was reduced to the only the Constantinople, its capital. Only that place was given to the Turkey. Okay, the division of Macedonia, however, did not satisfy Bulgaria. Bulgaria did not satisfied with what the portion was given to Bulgaria. Bulgaria attacked Serbia and Greece. So they started to fight among themselves. Bulgaria attacked Serbia and Greece, but Bulgaria was easily defeated. And Second Balkan War ended with the signing of a Treaty of Bucharest in August 1913. Bucharest is a place in Romania, okay, capital of Romania. That is also one of the Balkan country, okay. So in that they signed the treaty, okay, to stop the war over the division of Macedonia. So this was going, and next what happens? Immediate cause. The climax to these events in the Balkans occurred in Sarajevo in Bosnia. Bosnia is now under the control of Austria. Okay, in that Bosnia, Sarajevo is one of the small place. On 28th June 1914, the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, nephew and heir to the Franz Joseph, Emperor of Austria and Hungary, was assassinated by a Principe, a Bosnian Serb. A Bosnian Serb, a young man, Bosnian young man, national, that's a lover of Bosnia, who hated Austria. He killed the Franz Ferdinand, who was the heir to Austria and Hungary, who was the nephew and heir next to emperor for Austria and Hungary. Okay, so Austria saw this as an opportunity to eliminate Serbia as an independent state. Already Austria and Hungary, Serbia, they were rivals. So he started to destroy Serbia. Germany thought it should strike first. So Germany took the advantage of this and he jumped into the war on the side of Austria. He declared war on Russia on 1st August. Germany had no quarrel with France. But because Franco-Russian alliance, Germany army which was planning a war against both France and Russia wanted to use the occasion to its advantage. So Russia came in to help Serbia, Germany came to help Austria. So Germany directly attacked war on Russia, but it had no any reason to attack France, but only because France and Russia were had an alliance, it thought it will be better thing to attack France also, because they need Alsace and Lorraine, isn't it? Already it was under their control only. The German violation of Belgian neutrality forced Britain to enter the war. So they have signed with England, that is, they should not annex any places without consent. But they attacked Belgium. Okay, so this neutrality, this created angry for Britain against Germany. So obviously, Britain also entered the war. So one by one, Austria and Serbia, to help Austria, Germany entered. To help Serbia, Russia entered. Because Russia entered, it obviously France entered, and Germany attack on Belgium created enmity of Britain to enter. So they one by one they jumped into the war against each other. So next we have to see, this is the reasons we have seen. Next, we want to see the course of war. What happened from 1914 to 1918? How one by one they started to have a war between among themselves, and who won the war, who defeated the war, what are the reasons, what are the effects. Okay.